In January, I received £585 in passive income. In February, this increased to £630, but in March, my dividends went absolutely nuts. In this video, I'll reveal all my passive income from both share dividends and premium bond prizes. And if you stay to the end, I'll reveal everything I've been buying and selling this month. I've been investing now for over 15 years. My portfolio consists mainly of UK large cap companies which have strong balance sheets and economic moats. Many of these companies actually earn most of their revenue from around the world. More recently, I've been adding a selection of exchange-traded funds to the portfolio. Many of my companies pay out reliable streams of dividends, which I could spend if I wanted to. One day I intend to live off these dividends, but for now I'm simply going to reinvest them and let them compound and grow over time. By having multiple streams of income, it gives me the option one day of perhaps going part-time or retiring early. I have an ordinary full-time day job in the education sector, which I enjoy immensely. But if that were ever to change, then passive income gives me options. I won't have to rely on a day job to pay my bills. With investing, you really need to be in it for the long term and develop a consistent approach. Before we start, I'm going to go back in time to 2009, the year it all started. In the March of that year, I received no dividends at all. It takes time to get the ball rolling. The following March, however, I received £73 from Barclays. In 2011, I received £210 from Barclays and BP. And in March 2012, Barclays, BP and now AstraZeneca paid out a total of £355. It was really motivating seeing the dividends rise like this. I wanted to continue the journey to see how far I could go. Some say that dividends are not important, but to me they are. Without them, I would have simply got bored with the whole process and given up years ago, and may even have squandered the money instead. Now let's return to 2024 to see where we are today. This is not investment advice, I'm just showing you my own journey. And yes, this video does contain nuts. On the 1st of March, I received a present from IG Group. The shares are down 3.6% on the year. The dividend is fairly high at 6.2% spread over 2 payments a year. Dividend history is robust, with the company able to maintain or raise its dividend year after year. This month, IG Group paid out a total of £75. If you want to know exactly how much I hold in each of the companies mentioned, then I've listed that information in the video description. On the 8th of March, it was the turn of Bluefield Solar to reward its shareholders. The shares have not had a good year so far, however, down nearly 16%. It doesn't really surprise me considering the weather we've had recently in the UK. Dark cloudy skies and incessant rain. Not the ideal conditions for turning sunlight into money. The dividend is 8.7% spread over 4 payments a year. The company has managed to raise the dividend over recent years. This month, Bluefield Solar paid out a total of £60. Also on the 8th of March, I received some cash from SSE. The shares are down over 10% this year. They pay a dividend of 3.6% spread over 2 payments. Dividend growth is fairly stable over the long term, although there has been a bit of fluctuation more recently. I've held the company for well over a decade, and this month SSE paid out a total of £150. On the 19th of March, I received some dividends from Unilever. The shares are up 4% this year, and they are another company which pays out 4 times a year. The dividend yield is 3.7%. Long-term dividend history shows some fluctuation, but the trend is upwards. This month, Unilever paid out a total of £310. On the 25th of March, it was the turn of AstraZeneca to pay out. The share price is more or less unchanged this year, and the dividend is 2.2% spread over 2 payments. Dividends have remained fairly stable over the long term. This month, AstraZeneca paid out a total of £370. If you want to get the ball rolling on your own investing journey, then Trading 212 will give you a free share worth up to £100 to help you get started. Just click on the link in the video description. Also on the 25th, I received some passive income from Shell. The shares are up nearly 2% this year and the yield is 4.2% spread over 4 payments. Dividends have been growing recently, which is usually a good sign. This month Shell paid out a total of £335. On the 27th of March, all my 3 exchange-traded funds paid out. The first one is a FTSE 100 tracker that gives me exposure to the 100 largest listed companies in the UK. In months when I can't see individual bargains, then I'll just add more to this one. The ongoing charge is just 0.07%. The share price is up 3.4% this year, and the dividend is 3.8% split over 4 payments. Dividend history has fluctuated somewhat, but has been increasing more recently. This month, ISF paid out a total of £140. If you are finding this video useful, then please hit the like button as it really helps out the channel. My second ETF to pay out tracks the S&P 500 and gives me exposure to the largest 500 companies in the US, all in one share. Here are some of the main ones you would own. The ongoing charge is tiny at just 0.07%. The share price is up 10.5% this year and the yield is just 1.1% spread over 4 payments. Perfect for buying outside the IUSA when I've filled the £20,000 allowance. In the 24 to 25 financial year, you have a non-IUSA dividend allowance of £500 before needing to pay tax on it. This month, IUSA paid out a total of £95. And my third ETF is VHYL. This one gives me exposure to over 1,700 large to mid-cap companies from around the world which pay higher than average dividends. Here are some of the main companies you would own. Ongoing charge is 0.29%. The shares are up over 5% this year and the yield is 3.5% spread over 4 payments a year. Dividend history looks fairly stable. This month VHYL paid out a total of £50. On the 28th of March I received a payment from BP. The shares are up 5.7% on the year and the dividend is 4.5% spread over 4 payments a year. Dividend history is a bit patchy however, but that's not surprising as oil is a cyclical sector and prone to volatility. This month BP paid me a total of £315. Also paying out on the 28th was Imperial Brands. The shares are down 2.6% this year and the yield is high at 8.3% spread over 4 payments a year. Dividend history shows a long-term upward trend, however more recently the payments have been fairly flat. This month Imperial Brands paid out a total of £240. The third company to pay out on the 28th was the Renewables Infrastructure Group, which specialises in wind and solar energy. The shares are down 10% this year. The dividend is 7.1% spread over 4 payments. Dividend history shows an upward trend with the company able to grow the dividend year after year. This month the Renewables Infrastructure Group paid out £45. And now for the Premium Bond Monthly Draw. The prize rate is now 4.4%. There is 1 draw a month. You have easy access to your money and there is a chance to win £1 million each month. All winnings are tax-free. The first £1 million winner this March was based in West Sussex and had the maximum holding of £50,000. And the second lucky winner was based in Hampshire and also held the maximum allowed. I use premium bonds as my tax-efficient emergency fund kept out of the market on purpose, so I hopefully never have to sell my shares and can allow them to compound over time. Well, I didn't manage to win the million this month, but I did manage to win a total of £150. The bar on the left shows what I would expect to have won so far this year with £50,000 invested and with average luck. The bar on the right shows what I've actually won. We are well behind at the moment and it will be interesting to see how this progresses as the year goes by. Why not subscribe to follow the journey? And now for the overall summary. The green bars on this graph show my passive income for the first 3 months of last year and the blue bars are for this year. The total for this March was £2,335. It can vary quite a bit from month to month, but March is always one of the better months. This graph shows my average monthly share dividends since I started my journey in 2009. This does not include premium bonds, only share dividends. You can see the effect of the pandemic in 2020, but also how quickly the payments recovered. At the time of this video, I'm receiving an average of £1,277 per month in share dividends. This is the main figure I've focused on since I started, and I love watching it rise month by month. I could use the income to pay my bills, but as I enjoy my full-time day job, I'll put it back in to compound even more. I'll shortly be revealing what I've been buying in March, but first a quick look at the FTSE 100 ex-dividend dates for the month ahead. A massive 25 companies go ex-div in April. If you own the shares before this date, then you will be entitled to the dividend, which will be paid to you on the payment dates. This screen shows all of the others. Here are the payment dates for April, and I'll be expecting dividends from the companies highlighted here. This screen shows the highest yields in the FTSE 100. With very high yields, there is usually more risk of a dividend cut, and it's no surprise therefore that Vodafone recently announced a dividend cut of 50%. Rio Tinto also cut its dividend a while back. The average dividend yield of the FTSE 100 is 3.7%. My own portfolio is actually lower at 3.4%, but my yield on cost is 5.9%. So what have I been buying this month? Well, I've continued to add to my S&P 500 ETF, which, as I mentioned earlier, gives me exposure to all those big American giants. Now, as the new financial year starts in April, I'll be doing some major spring cleaning to my portfolio. Be sure to subscribe to find out more. Last year was my best ever for premium bond wins, and I'll probably never see the likes of it again. If you want to see how much I won with the full amount invested, then click this video here.